Hey, what's up guys? Preston here, Citizen Response. Got another video coming to you guys today talking about this product right here. This is the Nexbelt Supreme Appendix Belt. I've been using this specific belt for about 4 years with this buckle for about 2 years now. Gonna give you my thoughts, maybe some things to think about. Guys, so just a brief history about my relationship with Nexbelt. Some of my first videos ever put up on YouTube were talking about this belt, so I've been using it for a long time, and I built up a good relationship with Nexbelt. They've never paid me monetarily for anything, but they have sent me belts to test because they, for whatever reason, want to listen to my opinion. So I've given them some insight and details into some of their designs, have tested multiple of their different products, and I'm going to continue to test products in the future. So this particular belt is the Nexbelt Supreme Appendix Belt. What separates this from a lot of other belts in the market is there are some other belts that are ratchet designs, but this was the first ratchet design concealed carry belt to my knowledge, is it features micro adjustability, right? So essentially what that means is instead of having to have belt loops spaced out an inch, quarter inch apart, you get these tiny little micro adjustments. Guys, this makes for a super comfortable concealment, I guess you could say, experience. Because what that allows you to do is when you move throughout the day, you can make micro adjustments as need be. So let's say I had a big meal and I need to let out just a tiny little bit. Instead of letting out an entire belt loop that's going to affect my concealment, what that's going to allow me to do is just make a tiny little adjustment. Moving in and out of vehicles is another good example. When you're in vehicles, it kind of changes the angle of your pelvis. So I let out a little bit of pressure when I'm in a vehicle, and then when I'm getting up to stand up, just cinch it down a few bits, get up, get back to business. Another benefit to this specific design with the Supreme Appendix Belt buckle right here is how minimalist it is, right? Most of our buckles that we're used to are yay big, right? I started off with the Titan belt from them and eventually moved over to this belt for a few different reasons. Guys, I love this one because it minimizes the signature of the belt on your pant line. You may have great concealment, but if you have a giant big old belt buckle sticking out, the entire point of this is to not draw attention towards your waistline. That's exactly what this is going to do. So you can offset this a little bit like I do right here. I offset it off to my side. That allows me to get maximum concealment and torque from the wing claw on my holster. And if you guys that run sidecar rigs or run an offset mag caddy or offset tourniquet, guys, you really want to check out this belt because this minimal belt buckle gives you the most amount of customizability with where you can place your clips. If you have a big giant buckle covering right here, that's going to occlude some of the area that you might be able to place a clip to maximize adjustment. Guys, the biggest thing is having adjustability, mobility to help and aid with concealment, because we're trying to put a, as Filster says, I think this is a great analogy, we're trying to put a inorganic object on an organic object. It's kind of like fitting a prosthetic. So what this allows me to do, you can see how flexible this is. It wasn't always this way. I'll talk about that in a little bit. It's very flexible where it needs to be, but very rigid where it needs to be. It needs to be rigid vertically right here, but able to flex with your body. And after 4 years of use, that's exactly what this does. So that was some of the pros, some of the reasons why I love the holster, the adjustability, the mobility, the flexibility, the minimal buckle, quick, easy adjustment to aid with concealment. Some of the reasons I love the belt. Before we get into the cons, I want to give a quick plug to an event that I'm putting on the first ever Concealed Classic tournament. Guys, what this is, it's a double elimination tournament, so everybody has a chance at winning, even if you lose the first round. If you got to go up against some of my buddies that are really good, a lot better than me, it gives everybody a chance to win. We got some awesome prizes from our friends at Filster, Nexbelt, Infinity Targets, and USCCA, so lots of awesome prizes to win. Also, lunch will be included in the match fee. It's going to be at ETTS over here in Waxahachie, Texas on December 10th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Links in the bottom to sign up. It's going to be a run head-to-head, run a drill 3 times, back-to-back with another shooter. Whoever has the best hit factor score is going to move on to the next round in the winning category, guys. You won't want to miss it, so if you want to check it out, links in description. All right, so back to talking about the cons of this setup. This is actually not the original buckle that I had. So I had a Titan buckle, which I really liked, but then I saw this design and I knew I was missing out and I wanted this design. So I was one of the first people to have and test the original Supreme Appendix buckle, and that was great, but I pushed it to a failure point. I did things with this belt it was not designed to do because I wanted to see how rigid and how tough this was. So on multiple outings, one I was studying abroad in a foreign country, in another I was on a camping trip. I actually did weighted pull-ups and weighted dips, and I ran on that study abroad trip, I ran a chain through this, and I ran on the other one a rope through it. I attached weights so I could do weighted pull-ups and weighted dips. It actually handled them pretty well for a long time. It finally broke on one of the trips. I think I just put too much torque in one area and it broke this spring right here that allows to release tension. Guys, I don't really think that's anything that's on the belt. I wouldn't not recommend this belt based off of that failure in testing, but it's something to think about. Guys, this is not a rigger's belt. You don't need to be rappelling with this belt. You probably shouldn't trust your life to it. If that's what you need, look for something else. But it just goes to show this belt can take a whole lot before failing. But just something to consider. I actually have broken one of these buckles. It is possible. They're not indestructible. Another thing to think about with the long-term usage, guys, you can see right here, I have threads coming off of this. This particular belt itself, like I said, is 4 years old. Hasn't broken or anything. It's done exactly what I need it to do. But occasionally I have to cut threads off of this. It's more just a minor inconvenience. Doesn't have anything to do with the actual function of the belt. Doesn't affect it in that way. Another thing to take in mind is your belt from Nexbelt will not be like this, right? It'll be more like a hula hoop. Just because of the way that they're manufactured, it's going to be a lot more rigid like that. For concealed carry, that's not the best thing ever, in my opinion. For maybe like a battle belt or something, that's totally different. But for something, for concealed carry, it needs to be able to conform to your body well. And at this stage that this belt is in, it does that amazingly. But for you, it's not going to be. It's going to be more of like a hula hoop. And for me, it took about 1 to 2 years for the belt to loosen up to the point where it's like this now. There may be a process to accelerate that wear. Maybe I'll experiment with that in the future. But the hula hoop effect is negative for a few different reasons. The first thing, it's not as comfortable, right? This conforms to my body, and everyone's got an individual shape at a much better degree than the hula hoop. The hula hoop is just gonna sit how it sits, whether you like it or not. Another thing about the hula hoop effect that's not great, guys, is it actually affects concealment. So if you're wearing a tighter shirt, it's more likely to conform to the belt and show more belt than it would if the belt is flexible. Another thing, it's actually going to fight the claw. So the claw of your holster is going to pull and tuck the grip in, but if it's too much of a hula hoop effect, it's not going to be able to conform to that as well and do it to the best of its ability. Guys, so just something to keep in mind. Your experience may be slightly different until you get the belt well worn in. Guys, that's all I have to say. I love this product. I truly stand by and believe this product. They've not paid me a cent to say this, and I still use the belt to this day. Wore it today, actually, like I do almost every day. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. It means a lot that you come to me for information about concealed carry and things of the such. I just want to bring out the best information to you guys that I can. And I mentioned this in the past, but I like to talk a little bit about my faith at the end of my videos, guys. One thing that I've been super hard on myself, and since I became a believer, I wanted to do all the things right, everything right at the exact right moment in time. Guys, it's a journey, right? It's a relationship. It's not just rules. It's just a bunch of rules to follow. That's not a relationship, and you'll fail and you'll falter. Guys, but I've been really focusing on my relationship with God, getting in good prayer time with Him, truly believing and trusting in the prayers that I'm praying, and understanding that not everything's going to work out the way that I want it to, and that may be for my benefit and for the benefit of others. So if you're at a point where you're not sure in your faith or you want to grow in your faith more, I think one of the best ways to do that is by daily getting in the Word, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Getting in the Word every single day, soaking up God's Word. And if you want to do that more effectively, I actually will send you a chronological Bible. That's how I read through the Bible 5 times, and I'm currently on my 6th time reading through the Bible cover to cover, and I could not do it before. I tried, didn't work. But this chronological Bible will reorganize it into, it doesn't change it, it doesn't add anything, just reorganizes it into a much more palatable way that makes it more like reading a narrative. The story from Adam, the first man, to Jesus, the final, guys. So if you're interested in that, just shoot me an email at citizenresponse1@gmail.com or a DM on Instagram, and I will send you a chronological Bible totally free, no strings attached, no cost or anything like that. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. As always, get out there, train hard, stay safe.